Preecy, we bow out of the FA Trophy this afternoon following a defeat to Worksop Town. Your overall thoughts and feelings after that one?
Performance-wise, again was better. We followed on from the Radcliffe game. Thought we started the game really well. Dominated for large periods, created some really good chances. We didn't take those early chances, but then Milan scored a great goal out of nothing, and you're in a good position, and then you concede straight from the kickoff, which and an own goal, which is probably our Achilles heel at the minute, is that we're conceding really poor goals, too easy to score against, but in between that, we're defending really well. We're not giving up loads of chances. It's just the odd chance that we're giving, are self-inflicted. Second half, we come out again, get on top, get the penalty, get the goal, and another good finish from Milan. And again, they don't. Although Martin was quite a handful up front, they weren't creating anything. Marty was having nothing to do, and then we give a corner away that probably we didn't need to give away, and the lad heads it against the post, and it comes back to him. He puts it in the back of the net, and then we regroup again, and we get an opportunity. Obviously, we work it well again, work the opportunity ourselves, and get walks in, and it just goes outside the post with a couple of minutes to go, and then we're in good possession of the ball and give away easy possession and leave ourselves vulnerable. And to be fair, they made they were clinical with the way they create that opportunity, but we give too many goals away. And at the minute, we were struggling performance-wise. Performance was better today, better against Radcliffe, but still not winning. And the most important thing is to win. So we got to find a scrappy win. The only positive that you can take from that is that if you're playing really badly and getting battered and hanging on, and teams are just absolutely peppering you, you then start to worry about how you're going to get out of it. We've just got to find a little bit more, every one of us, cut out those moments, carry on playing the way that we're playing in between those moments, because we're creating and scoring goals, and that's normally the hardest thing to do. But now we need to get back and be more ruthless in defence and make sure that we don't concede chances.
Do you think ultimately it very much comes down to a case of managing and being better in both boxes?
No, because I think we've been all right in boxes. I think we've been all right in the way we've defended. It's leading up to it. We like I said, we give a corner away that we didn't need to. We probably could have cleared the ball a little bit earlier, and it's got blocked. And then we end up scoring our own goal. We're in good possession of the ball, and we give it away. And then outside that, I can't remember that they've had too many opportunities. We've defended really well. Possibly the other end, because we've had 2 or 3 really good chances that we haven't taken on top of the goals that we've scored. So, that's probably fair comment that we probably need to be a bit more ruthless the other end of the pitch. It's hard to create those chances, and we've got to start taking those. But the other end of the pitch, it's hard because it's not one person. We said it's a collective. It's as a group. We're making those mistakes, and we need to cut them out. As soon as we cut those out, then we'll start winning games. It really has come down to that now. We need to start getting clean sheets and stop presenting those easy chances, because the lads are doing a lot of good. There are some good performances around, and they're giving their all, and it's just it's just not quite happening for us.
A lot's been said this week in recent times about the squad in terms of numbers and players going especially. Of course, you brought in Max Wilson this week, in from the start. How good was he today?
He's really good again. Again, just shows how good our recruitment is, that we can go out and find a player like Max, who can come in and hit the ground running and put a performance like that. I thought he was superb in the first half, especially, and kept going right the way through. I was unlucky not to score, at the target, and that's all you can ask. Our issue is that, at the start of the season we had a really deep squad, so all our own players. There was never a thought that we would, that we wanted to go out and get loan players, but then, we lost 4 players in George, Willow, Sampo and Cole, and then you cannot bring in players for the whole season. They're just not out there. We can bring some players who are probably not good enough for us, but we want to bring quality players in, like Taylor and Lucas and George and Harry and people like that, who are are going to do well for us, and we have to explore the loan market. And unfortunately, that's it, and that's the way it is at the minute. We are looking to try and bring our own players in who will be here from till the end of the season. But if there's anybody out there, you have to go out and buy them, and then they're on big wages. The league below and the league below that are paying massive wages. And we can't. It's just impossible for us to do that. And you look around at other teams, it's all loans. No one's going out there unless you're like a York, who can go out and buy somebody. So. To do as well as what we do with our recruitment and bringing in the players who are that good that they come in and do really well for us, and we get them going again, who maybe not quite doing it at their club at that time, and they come in here and we get them firing again. It says a lot about us. It's a lot about our recruitment. It says a lot about our staff. It says a lot about the players here. That we get them playing again, and then they get called back. And that's just part of football. But you take that as a positive, and then we've gone out and found Max. People think that's easy. Have a look around at some of the clubs in our league who are taking lads on loan, not even playing. They don't play at all. So we do really well, and our record's probably as good as any team in the National League. And on top of that, we sold Craig. Doesn't stop us looking. We're looking all the time, and we would rather have our own players, but at this minute, it has to be loans, and you're always susceptible to those going back if they do well. And what do we want them to do poorly, so they don't go back? It defeats the object. So I'm proud of how we do that, and I'm proud of the recruitment team and the staff for giving those lads the platform to produce the form that means that they're wanted back.
Just finally then, to close, a word for the supporters who stuck with us and clapped us off right to the very end. They were full of praise despite the result after that.
Well, I think if they see a performance, they'll put up with a lot. Obviously, they're having to put up with us finding a way of losing games at the minute. But they're behind us, and look, they're not our fans. Understand that it's difficult. Sometimes it is difficult, and we've given three and a bit years of constantly being up there and not having runs like this. This is the first one we've had. So what they're going to do? They're going to throw the towel in and not support us and not get behind us and not try and help us through when we've given so many good times. There's not many clubs who've had the sort of run that we've had over the last few years. So when it gets tough, you stick together. And again, you go around and you're clapping, and they're trying to keep your head up, and it is difficult when when you're losing games. I go back to the Merthyr game. When we play against Merthyr, we play like we did against Merthyr and lose that game, then you've got, then you're worried and you think, God, a lot needs to change. When you play like you did against Radcliffe and you play against like you did today, then you feel like it's just round the corner. But we need to do it quick, and we need to have that ruthless streak in us of keeping clean sheets, whatever. So we take that on the chin, and we're not running away or hiding from it. We're hitting it head on, and there's no one more disappointed than me, and there's no group more disappointed than the players. They're gutted at the minute, and they're hurting really badly because they appreciate the support that we get, and that means a lot, and that will mean that we'll get back winning sooner rather than later.